Hello, everyone. This is Rich J. Tilley, the author of Way Too Unsubstantiated. Thank you for finding me on YouTube. Let's talk about commitment. This is the third chapter in the book. Commitment. The concept of commitment can be a scary thing. Would everyone agree? Signing a business contract, committing to a 30-year mortgage, taking out a 60-month auto loan, swearing to a blood oath, or simply saying you'll do something. All of these things can be very frightening. This chapter will help us all familiarize ourselves on why human beings commit to things and on why we do not. Additionally, we will find out more about ourselves than we thought we knew, breaking down how we all react to this powerful 10-letter word. Here is what I have found out. What we decide to commit to in our lives is directly related to our most passionate values that we choose to adhere to. People do their utmost to uphold their values, attaching various amounts of subjective weight on the topics of religious faith, ethics, parenting, family, occupation, our careers, and chasing financial freedom. Furthermore, the word commitment is a really difficult word to spell. Is it one M after CO and two T's in the middle? Or two M's and one T in the middle? It seems like this perplexing word should be two T's and two M's. Well, three M's and three T's total. You know what I mean. Even when spelled correctly, it still looks odd. We have all heard someone describe a close acquaintance by saying, they are just a really good person. During funeral eulogies, we often hear the designated speaker utter, the world lost a very good man or woman. The quality of human beings that we become is directly related to how we manage the word commitment in our lives. Honoring our commitments makes us good human beings, and vice versa. If someone is considered to be the opposite of a good person, this individual's value hierarchy is probably completely mismanaged, therefore making them a low-quality person in the eyes of others. Ironically, this man or woman rarely offers any significant value to others, and most of the time, we consider these types of people a liability. What are some of the myriads of creeds and ideologies that we pledge to in our lives? Pondering over this question, one would instinctively think of the institution of marriage, but here are several additional examples. Attending weekly church services in a house of our chosen faith, conducting daily prayers in the Muslim and Islamic world, telling the truth, and staying strong to our word and virtues, being a parent and raising our children, keeping our pledge to noble ethics and doing the right thing, and self-preservation and staying healthy. This short list leads me to an insightful question. Can you think of any commitment that we can't get out of? Is there anything we choose to commit to that we can't bail out on later? Still thinking? Well, the answer is that we can pretty much get out of anything if we wanted to, right? I have an emphasis bar. It says commitment is not a word. Commitment is a personal decision. Commitment is a decision that sets, solidifies, and cures in the depths of our individual minds, accompanied by a broad life philosophy and personal introspective that grows in our unique brains over time. This mindset determines whether we are going to do something or we are not. I recognize that factors can come up that may cause us to change our minds, but ultimately, It is the individual that has complete control over whether we decide to honor our commitments or that we do not. The influential factors affecting our decision to commit or not to are shaped by the power rankings or grounded weight that we assess to our values. Let's try a fun exercise, shall we? Please rank the following in order of your most important values: family, work and money, religious faith and God, health and exercise, friends and social gatherings, ethics, leisure, and downtime. Go ahead, start ranking them. You must put a numerical order next to them. There cannot be a tie. If you're having trouble separating them, ask yourself hypothetical questions such as, if your daughter was getting married on a certain Saturday and your boss suddenly lays down a desperate request to you in the manner of, we could really use you the same weekend in New York City for a multi-billion-dollar deal signing, what would you do? Would you pick family or work? Tough call. Well, let's say a friend invited you to a party 3 weeks ago. The friend had given you ample time to plan ahead for it, and you had already made a verbal commitment to attend the social get-together with your spouse. However, on the day of the event, you were exhausted from a grueling week at work, and your spouse also wanted to just relax and stay home and watch a movie. Which way do you lean in this situation? Loyalty to a friendship or keeping the peace with your spouse? One final example. Let's pretend your place of employment really needed you to cover a shift on a Sunday morning for a big blowout sales event and was willing to pay all the team members involved a lucrative double overtime incentive for helping out. Everyone would be required to show up for work by 8:30 a.m. A dedicated weekly time slot that you usually reserve for early church services. Do you take the extra money over your commitment to your faith and pleasing the boss? Or do you decide to worship God over money and job security? Another difficult decision. You may have to take the money and pray for forgiveness over this one. Occasionally, we might have to recall the playing out of past circumstances to be able to rank our own values. Our values can flip-flop and assign weight depending on the timing or conditions of the situation. As we mature and grow as individuals, our values may change and can be influenced by the people we meet along the way. You have probably never really analyzed your own values like this before, but hopefully you have arranged your core values from the aforementioned list in some kind of order and ranking. If you haven't, please take a little bit more time to do so. Write them down on a piece of paper. Stop reading for a minute. It may be difficult to arrange them in numerical order, I understand. Okay, I'm curious. Which is the value that you have placed first on your list? What is the second one? Third? You will find your top 3 values are the type of events that you commit to a higher percentage of time. Events related to other values further down on your ranking scale seem to get pushed off on a regular basis. One might say, there's only so much time in the day to do everything. I get it. This interesting exercise may reveal why a person might have bailed on their last commitment they had with you, or why we ourselves acted and behaved in a certain way in the past, possibly bailing out on a softer commitment on somebody else. The institution of marriage is one of the areas that is synonymous with the word commitment. We take an oath under the eyes of God, standing next to an ordained minister, promising together that we will love one another in sickness and health forever, till death do us part. 3 years later, we find ourselves at the attorney's office signing the dissolution papers. What the heck happened to the sacred vows we proclaimed when we exchanged the rings on that special day? People that have been down this road before may attempt to explain with justification. Well, my circumstances changed. She changed. I changed. We both changed. We simply grew apart. So I ask you, what should our vows have been that wedding day then? Something more like, I promise to love this person till death do us part, so long as one of us doesn't change? So long as our body shapes continue to look the same forever? So long as one of our careers doesn't get in the way? So long as raising young children doesn't create a rift in our bedroom, crushing the romance? So long as no one else better comes along and sweeps us off our feet? Getting out of a marriage can cost us dearly, dividing up all the assets and financials, but the bottom line is that we can get out of it, and modern day legal procedures have made it much easier for us all to transition away from this very complicated and binding commitment. Ed, what's the bottom line? We have a talk bubble from Ed. He says, $1,500 to the attorney and you're out. As I compose this chapter, I've been racking my brain trying to think of anything that once we commit to that we can't get ourselves out of. Initially, I thought of those ghastly timeshare shams and scams. Traditionally, a long-term timeshare agreement was considered analogous to an albatross around someone's neck, next to impossible to break free from. But now there is an entire industry on helping folks facilitate a smooth legal process to get out from under timeshare contract. As long as you write the company a check. How nice of them. So next to joining the South American drug cartel, I can't think of anything we really can't get out of. Can you? If we mailed back a friend's wedding invitation clearly stating our intent that we will be there, can we get out of attending their future wedding? Sure we can. We all know how the text or phone call goes 1 week before the wedding day. We are so terribly sorry. We would have loved to have been there for you and Valentino on your special day. But a pressing engagement just came up and we will not be able to make the ceremony. We wish you both the very best. Blah, blah, blah. What a bunch of hogwash. Now, at least the right thing to do here is send a gift, but come on now. Why did we agree to go in the first place? What took precedence over going to the wedding? What came up? Whatever it was had a higher position on our value hierarchy list for that special day. Did the kids have a soccer tournament that weekend? Did friends invite us to an all-expenses-paid vacation in West Palm Beach, Florida, that same week? Maybe money was the issue for the logistic expenses involved to be able to attend the wedding. Maybe we had a death in the family. I have found that our assessed top values determine our actions and behavior, dictate our commitments. Here is the written response I consistently send back every time that I am asked to attend someone's wedding. Thank you for the invitation. We will definitely be there. So long as nothing comes up on that day, ranking higher on our priority list and assessed value scale than attending your wedding. I am kidding. Most times people don't really want to hear the cold hard truth, do they? Some folks like to immediately say yes to your face when they feel obligated to a request, avoiding confrontation, knowing that they will simply go to their excuse book on the day of the event. Here's how a scenario usually plays out. Wife: What should we tell them, honey? The husband suggests the lowest hanging fruit excuse he can think of. Just tell them something came up. His wife hesitates. Well, what if they ask me what it is? Husband conjures up another clever, empathetic to all excuse. Just tell them we have to babysit the grandkids. His confused wife quips, honey, that won't work. We don't have any grandkids. They know that. Why don't we tell them we just don't want to go? Husband lets out a shriek. Oh my God, don't tell them that. We'll hurt their feelings. They will never speak to us again. And scene. Do you know or live with a person that is hard to pin down? Do you have a spouse or friend next to impossible to get them to commit to anything? However, every once in a great while, this same person does commit to something and decides to pencil out some allotted time to attend the event. When questioned about the said commitment initially, the answer one might receive from this person is, I don't know yet. Let me think about it. On rare occasions, after a pensive, critical thinking session and analysis, this personality type will often reply, yeah, sure, why not? We can go. Have we all run into a scenario like this before? The reason for this stubborn behavior happens because this person actually holds the word commitment on a pedestal, treating the concept in high regard. They adhere to the principle that if they say they're going to do something, they will do it. This is the reason why these folks don't commit immediately, whimsically, because they are analyzing all factors that would make them break their promise to their engagement ahead of time. They have already thought through the situation enough so they don't have to reach for the lame excuse playbook. This person may say no more times than they say yes, but they're an individual that we can count on, rarely using excuses to get out of their commitments. Other personalities that commit to something spontaneously on a whim are usually the ones who will quickly bail out too. These people are usually highly emotional in nature, and depending on how they're feeling on the day of the event, will determine whether they will honor their previous verbal commitment or not. Their emotions cause them to be a bit flaky, and their words generally mean nothing. I have an emphasis bar here. It says people that commit the least are usually very serious about their commitments when they do decide to commit. Children can enter this world in a variety of different ways. The miracle of childbirth can be the product from a strategically planned lovemaking session, implemented during the limited days of ovulation between two bonded soulmates, sharing one mutual heart. In brackets, it says romance novel fantasy. On the contrary, another human baby can breathe its first breath 9 months after one too many shots of Mexican tequila and a slow dance with Mary Jane at the local bar on a wild and crazy Friday night. I have brackets, it says nonfiction, novel, reality. Either way, a child has entered this world with untapped infinite potential. At conception, every new infant has two familiar people involved in the process, unless a test tube and doctor were involved. Many people feel super adamant about the commitment towards being a good parent. This is a big commitment, one of the biggest. Once we have a child, we are a parent for the rest of our lives. Parents dream of living long enough so they can become grandparents to pass on their wisdom and love to the next generation. To realize this vision, one needs to maintain a healthy body. What should be the most important value, our health or our family? Well, if family is of high importance to us, we better take good care of ourselves, else we won't be there for our family. These two values go hand in hand and are counterparts with each other. We should be of the mindset we need to put our health as a priority because family is our most important value. Many people mismanage this dichotomy, struggling in our new world of unavoidable food preservatives and convenient fast food addictions. Our priorities and values are intertwined. Occasionally, it may be difficult to distinguish between which is the value and which is the priority. For example, if one of our prized values is financial security and freedom in our retirement years, and we commit to doing a systematic investment strategy in order to achieve this outcome, what good is all this dedication if we can't fit into the airplane seat anymore? Or if we can't walk up the steps of the Greek Acropolis? Even more concerning, what if we were not even around to enjoy any vacation or new birth in our family, due to our early death triggered on by and caused by our lack of commitment to good health and exercise? I have an emphasis bar here. It says self-preservation and commitment to our own health and wellness need to be at the top of everyone's value list. I digress again. Back to parenting. Can a person get out of being a parent? Absolutely. My personal, unsubstantiated, biased rant of an opinion here is that one of the lowest forms of a human being is a person that abandons their responsibility to their children, letting their offspring navigate through their empty lives without mutual supportive parental guidance. Often this sidestepper of responsibility tries to repair the strained relationship many years later, after all the difficult parenting years have come and gone, once the damage due to their absence has been entrenched. When was the last time a son or daughter revered this compliment towards their deadbeat dad? Now, he may not have been around for my siblings' mother and I, but he's just a really good person. He always puts others before himself and honors all his commitments. I can always count on him. Not ever. And if this sperm donor has the audacity to be sitting in church on Sunday, he should be asked to leave the building until he actually gets what the pastor is preaching about. Own up, my friend. Give unto others. Let's start practicing the biblical verses with your own blood. I have an emphasis bar. It says it's okay to say no, but if we say yes, make sure we go. Next time someone asks you to commit to something, don't be so hasty to say yes. Think about it for a while and then give out your answer. If we're being asked in person to do something, we should rebut with, "That sounds interesting. Let me get back to you on that." As we strive to become higher quality human beings, the ability to commit to our values, goals, principles, and things we believe in will determine what someone might utter at our eulogy. Unsubstantiated advice from a middle-aged man about commitment. We must throw the excuse book away or use it sparingly. Let's all recommit to the word commitment and make ourselves better human beings for the good of society. Look at the word in caps. Doesn't it look weird? Am I right about this or just half right? This is Rich J. Tilley, author of Way Too Unsubstantiated. If you enjoyed the commitment chapter and you like the whole relationship topic, please search on YouTube for the Love Is chapter, which is kind of a sister chapter to this commitment chapter. But the next in line begins with a D. It's about people that lie a lot. It's called Deception. Enjoy that one. It's a good one. Thanks for listening, everybody.